Hi everyone, thanks for watching today's video. Today I'm going to make a lovely rich brioche bread. It's got a lovely texture, very light texture, buttery and slightly sweet, goes beautifully with a cup of tea for breakfast in the morning. I have 500 grams of strong white bread flour, 140 ml of whole milk which is warmed up. So this one has got 3.7% fat in it. So whole milk, which you will get in your country wherever you are, 7 grams of salt, 12 grams of instant yeast, 60 grams of caster sugar, 250 grams of unsalted butter. I'm going to melt this so it mixes evenly in the flour. I've got 5 eggs, which are medium eggs. You can get it from your supermarket. These are laid by my own chicken. I have got a whole orange, which I'm going to use just the zest from the skin to mix in. It gives a nice tangy taste. If you don't have orange, you don't have to use it. I also had half a lemon lying around because it's going to go into the composter. So I thought I'll use it. I'm going to use a zest again into the dough. I'm going to use an electric mixer for kneading because this is a very wet dough and kneading it by hand is quite messy. So I'm going to electric mixer with a dough hook. So to start, I'm going to put salt on one side and the caster sugar will go on the same side of the bowl. Yeast will go on the opposite side because don't put the yeast and the salt together, otherwise yeast will die and will not work very well. The five eggs which I've taken out of the shells go in there as well. The milk goes in there as well. I'm going to add a bit of zest of lemon and zest of orange. Not put the butter as yet, so going to put this into the mixer and going to knead it for 2 minutes on low speed of the mixer and further 8 minutes on medium speed. So the dough in the end will look very soft, smooth and silky. So I'm going to add the butter now. As you can see, it's all melted butter. Going to make it very wet. Then I'm going to mix it again for another 5 minutes. So the butter mixes quite evenly. So another 5 minutes. So I'm going to pour this, which is quite liquidy as you can see, into our plastic bowl. Okay, great. So this plastic bowl, I'm going to cover it up with a piece of cloth and going to put it in the fridge for minimum of 7 to 8 hours. Now it's almost 4 o'clock here, so in the afternoon. So I'm going to leave this in the fridge overnight, so I don't have to bake it at midnight or something. If you're starting your preparation of the ingredients quite early in the morning, like 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning, then you can finish the whole lot in one go. So I would suggest leave it in the fridge for minimum of 7 to 8 hours, maybe 8 hours to be on the safe side, because the butter in there will set and the dough will become much firmer and it will be very easy to handle after that. So I shall see you tomorrow morning once this is set, and we'll take this out of the fridge, see what it looks like. So we are in the next morning. Our dough has risen quite nicely. It's much more solid than it was yesterday and very easy to handle today. I have got a small weighing scale, some butter. Butter I have used to grease the cake tin. I'm going to use a 10-inch or 25 centimeter cake tin. It says well seasoned. If you don't understand what seasoning of the baking tin means, then please do watch my video below. It is very important to have a well seasoned baking tin no matter whatever baking you are doing. I also have a very sharp knife. I also have a plastic bag to prove my bake in, and I also have a bit of flour to rub on my worktop. So I put flour on my worktop. This is greased with butter, and I'm going to take the dough out of my plastic bowl and I'm going to knock the air out. Still a bit sticky, but hopefully it will be okay. So I weighed my dough. The dough weighed about 1.1 kilograms or 1100 grams, and I divided it into 9 little balls. Each of them is about 110 grams each. The biggest one is in the middle, which is about 140 or 50 grams. I'm going to make these balls nice and round, just with the ball of your hand, and place them around the tin equidistant. So 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. To shape them so they stay round. In between, and the one in the middle goes right into the middle. So this is what it looks like in the end, and I'm going to sprinkle some sesame seeds on top, and sesame seeds are only going to go on the outside ring, none on the middle. It's only optional, you don't have to use sesame seeds. I use them because I like the taste of toasted sesame seeds once it's baked. Now we're going to leave this to proof in a plastic bag. So it is at least 2 or 3 times the size it is now. So sesame seeds are all around the ring, but none in the middle. And I'm going to put this into my plastic bag and leave it in there for about 2 to 3 hours, or long enough for these to rise until they are above the rim of the bread tin. So let's put that in there and come back to it in about 3 hours. So it's been proving for exactly 3 hours. It's risen up. As you can see, it's just above the rim. You can see it from the side, just above the rim. You can see the dough above it. And I got 2 other things before I put this into the oven. I got a skewer here because the dough is very rich in sugar and butter, so it's going to cook much quicker on the outside, so the color will come up much quicker as compared to cooking inside. So every so often I'm going to put the skewer in to make sure it comes out dry. If it's dry, then only I will take it out. I also got a bit of aluminum foil there. The reason is because it's going to become darker much quicker outside, and before it's cooked inside, if it's becoming too dark, then I'm going to cover the top with an aluminum foil so it doesn't start burning on the outside. I got my oven ready. It's a fan oven. As you know, it is at 170 degrees centigrade. If you have a non-fan oven, then go for 190 degrees centigrade or 375 degrees Fahrenheit, or gas mark 5 if you have a gas oven. I'm going to put this in there and leave it in there for 25 to 30 minutes. I will check it a bit earlier, but just to make sure it's cooked inside before I take it out. I'll see you in a few minutes. So I've taken the bread out after exactly half an hour. During the baking, about 5 or 10 minutes before, I did check it with a skewer to make sure it's cooked inside, and the skewer came out quite dry at about 25 minutes, and I left it for another 3 or 4 minutes. The top was becoming quite dark, so I had to cover it up with the aluminum foil so it doesn't burn. I've cut a piece of slice here. You can see it looks pretty good. The consistency is quite nice inside. Nicely baked. Looked almost like a cake. Let me have a slice. Still quite warm, so it's a bit soft. It's quite yummy, quite rich, but very light to eat because it's very nice and airy inside. You can taste a bit of orange and lemon zest in it, and obviously the sesame seeds are giving it a slight mild bitterness in the end, so really tastes nice. I'll have it in my cup of tea in the morning. So until next time, thanks for watching.